Welcome along to another opposition preview, the show that brings you the lowdown on Saints' next opponents. We've still got a lot to do after the 3 points against Bournemouth last weekend, but this Saturday we travel to Merseyside, another tricky tie with the Toffees. So here to tell us more about Everton this season, Ped, Toffee TV, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, mate, not too bad.
I mean, 2 games left for Everton, 36 played, 8th place on paper. You know, it looks like a good return considering the turmoil, you've had sort of in the middle of the campaign, 2 months without a permanent manager. Summarise how it's been this season, mate.
Well, you know what? I'd like to come on here and bemoan everything that's happened, but with you guys, the way you guys are, I'm sure it'll fall on deaf ears. To be honest, the game against Southampton was the catalyst for us to make the change because we were so bad that day. And it's so surprising the way the 2 seasons have gone from the 2 clubs, because that day, I know you'd been struggling up to that day, but that day you absolutely destroyed us, beat us 4-1, played us completely off the park. And that was the day for us to sort of say, well, we need to restock now, we need to get ourselves sorted. That was the lowest ever the season. And since then it's been... it's not been what you want it to be, and it's still not what you want it to be. But we've found a way to win games, and that's all you can ask for. And I think that's where sort of you guys have missed the trick, is that you may have waited too long with the change of the manager. You may not have. I don't know, but at times it's been hard to watch Everton, even recently, even in the last few games when we've been picking up wins. But we've been picking up wins, and that's the most important thing. The most important thing was getting away from that danger zone, winning the games we needed to win, and picking up 3 points. And it's not been pretty, but we've done that, and that's why we're sitting quite happily in 8th place at the moment.
Yeah, I think you're right there. We pulled the trigger far too long. I mean, you were one of the first ones to pull the trigger this season after Crystal Palace. But you say you've won without it being attractive, but that's what we needed this season. We haven't won dirty at all. See, but for me, does that tell you that maybe you pulled the plug on Puel too early? And I know you said it was terrible to watch, and I understand that because we're watching something similar. But you think, the way I look at it at the moment, a lot of Everton fans want to get rid of Allardyce, and I actually see a lot of similarities with what you guys did last season. And I'm sort of sitting here going, well, hang on, I don't like the football we're playing, but until we get a manager in who is 100%, I know is going to get us up that table, I'm sitting here thinking, well, let's just keep what we've got till we know we're bringing in an absolute guaranteed replacement. And I think that's where maybe you guys had pulled the trigger a little bit too early, because looking at it now, sometimes, I know it's not nice, but sometimes as a football fan, you don't always get what you want in terms of playing style. But if you're winning games of football and you've got a level where you're going to be safe, then I think that's where some of us as football fans go with our heart before our heads a little bit. Be careful what you wish for is what they say, isn't it? I mean, we've been a model for that this season, but let's get back to Everton though. Sam Allardyce has stabilised it, securing a top half finish, but as you say, it's not all rosy at Goodison Park at the moment. A lot of the fan base unhappy with the style of Sam Allardyce. I mean, today he was also announced Manager of the Month for nomination.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's not necessarily the style. I think this is where there is a bit of... The style's not good. Listen, don't get me wrong, the style's not good. It's boring to watch. We typically win games with one of our... I think we beat Newcastle, we had 1 shot on target, we scored from. We beat Huddersfield, we had 5 shots on target, we scored 2. I mean, that's not a terrible return, but they were absolutely terrible, Huddersfield. But it's not that as such. It's more that when he opens his mouth, when we lose, it's not down to him, and when we win, it's down to him. It's that rubs us up the wrong way as fans. It really does. It's when he first come, he talked about the big opportunity, saving Everton and then moving Everton on. This is probably the best squad he's ever had. I think it's at the best club he's ever worked at, and it was an opportunity for him to show people. And when he arrived, I think he was told, don't be Big Sam, don't be this character that you've been all your career, that you are when you're on the TV and things like that. Be Sam Allardyce, be what you wanted to be when you were the England manager. And at first he was very humble. He was talking about, how fantastic opportunity it was. And when we won our first few games, we didn't care how we won them. We were happy to see clean sheets, scoring the odd goal, upsetting people, going to Anfield, not getting a kick all game, and getting a draw out of it was like the funniest thing in the world to us. Beating this, drawing with this team that just was beating everybody in front of it. We thought that was hilarious, and it didn't matter about the style. But over Christmas, we started picking up some poor results, and that continued. And we didn't win a game in 2018 till the back end of February, I think. And his tone changed, and he started to become that Sam Allardyce, big Sam character draw. You just can't do that with us. It just doesn't wash with us. We won't have that. So he started doing that, and that started rubbing fans up the wrong way. And then he started talking about him, and as I said, it was more about self-preservation for him and not about the football.
Seems like he's pointing the finger and living up to his reputation. I mean, there was this whole thing a couple of weeks ago now. The club survey wanted to rate how well Sam Allardyce has been over the last few months and how well the club has been run. I mean, whose finger is pointing at the blame for that one? I mean, how was that received? A club survey to rate this season?
It happens every year. I honestly don't know what the big do was about it. It happens every single season. At the end of the season, Everton put a survey on. They have for the last 3 or 4 years. This is the first one that's caused any drama. It happened under Martinez when Martinez was absolutely terrible. They rate that questionnaire rates everything from the catering within the ground to how easy you find it as a fan to pick up merchandise. And there's 3 particular boxes, and one was rate the players, rate the manager, rate off the pitch actions. It was just that someone picked it up, it got on social media, and because of everything, the fans were loving the fact that they had this opportunity. Media got hold of it and ran with it. Isn't it a disgrace? Well, my question would have been for Sam Allardyce, if I'd been a journalist in that room when he was asked, would have been, if you were doing brilliantly and this survey had come out and everyone would give you 10s, would you have had a problem with that? And I guarantee he wouldn't have had a problem with that, because he would have loved it, because that's who he is. So, it was a little deal, so he made a big deal because of the timing and because of, I think Sam Allardyce has got a lot of friends in the media, because not only has he worked in the media, but because he's always good for a story. Journalists love people who are good for a story because it keeps them in a job as well. So it really wasn't a big deal. And as Evertonians, we know that. We were just like, where's this problem come from? It's being created by nothing. I'm happy the club send me a questionnaire at the end of every season asking my opinion on everything. That means that they've got all the data they need when, regardless of managers, how much of it, do you like a cup of tea at Goodison? Is it too expensive? I like to be asked that question along with, do I like the manager? I think that helps create that relationship. It's all about data now, isn't it? Listen, I'd rather everyone were taking data off me first hand than stealing it off me. So, like what the people seem to be doing. So I'm quite all right with that.
I think, I think every club has that sort of survey, but I think it's only been exploded because of the 3 questions about the management and the players. But, I mean, obviously this time of the season, 2 games left, a lot of players looking elsewhere, maybe looking for some moves, maybe looking at the World Cup in the summer, trying not to pick up injuries. I mean, are the rest of them already on the holidays?
No. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said they were, but they've sort of picked up in the last couple of weeks, the players. Huddersfield on Saturday, and Huddersfield were absolutely rubbish. I doubt they'll get relegated, but they were absolutely terrible. And the players really had to go with them. And that's what surprised me, because this time last year, when we had 7 secure, we went to Swansea, we played a team who were dying for points, like you will be on Saturday, and we give the game up. I don't think it'll be the same this weekend, or even the weekend after when we play West Ham. I think the players have got something to prove, and the way we're sort of structured, which again isn't setting anything on fire. It's there to help us win games out of nothing. So I know that's not what you want to hear, but I think it's going to be a tough game for Southampton on Saturday.
And one player actually at the moment delivering, had a tough start to his Everton, came in January, looking really sharp in front of goal recently, scoring 5 in his 10 or so appearances now. Cenk Tosun, big impact for you, and as you say, you're getting a lot of hits from Turkey.
Yeah, we're loving it. You're getting a lot of views from Turkey. It's absolutely fantastic. No, Tosun came in and he was a bit of a slow start, adjusting to the Premier League. And again, that going back to what you said about Sam Allardyce. Sam Allardyce almost writ him off. He almost said he's not my signing. He actually came out and said, I don't know if he'll do it for Everton. I don't know if it's the right signing. Almost like I didn't sign him. And now everyone's saying, oh, what a great signing that was by Sam Allardyce. He sort of washed his hands of the player. But the player needed time to adapt, and he was given time to adapt because we were okay, because we got amassed enough points, really, that it shouldn't have been a struggle. And that's where other players that we bought in the summer failed, because when they needed that time, the likes of Davy Klaassen, there was such a pressure on them because of the tough start. We had all like the top 6 in the first 7 or 8 games, and we had Europa League games. Whereas he's been allowed to bed in, and to be fair, he's not someone who will trouble you too much outside the box. He needs chances. He needs players to make chances for him. And we've seen the goal against Huddersfield. It was a great finish. But that came from our other signing, Theo Walcott, who's equally had a really good start to his Everton career, and playing games and helping link the play with Walcott, and has given us that pace we didn't have previously in the season. So they both come in January, have really hit the ground running and have done fantastic. So it's nice now we've got a goal scorer, and it's nice now we've got a bit of pace. And if we can build on that for next season, then by buying the right players, we might be okay next season as well in terms of trying to get into Europe.
Yeah, and we were heavily linked with Theo Walcott in January as well when he was looking for his move. Everton snatched it away from us. But Cenk Tosun, by the looks of things, looks like he causes all sorts of problems. Big physical striker as well. I reckon the likes of Yoshida and perhaps Hoop might get their hands dirty on Saturday. But let's try and map it up though, mate. Saints' poor record at Goodison. Last time we won there was in 1997. Obviously, more riding on it this time. We're desperate for points. I mean, if we win on Saturday, it would ignite our survival hopes. I mean, how do you see it going on Saturday?
I really think you're going to have to throw everything at us. I really do. And because another turning point for Sam Allardyce has been the return of Seamus Coleman, the return of Leighton Baines, and the return of Phil Jagielka. And as those three, alongside Michael Keane, who really needs a strong defender next to him. He's a very nervy player. He needs leadership next to him. They've cemented a really good back four, and with Jordan Pickford behind them, we look good at the back now against the let me say the average Premier League team. Maybe not against the best teams, but against the average Premier League team. And I think so. You're really gonna have to come and cause us problems. From the start. A lot will come down to who scores the first goal. If you can score the first goal, that's something that hasn't happened to us for a while. So if you can get that first goal, then with the fact that you've got so much to play for, and maybe we haven't, that might sort of put some of our players in holiday mode. But if we get that first goal, I'd be really worried for your chances of winning the game. And as it's a game that you really need to win, as fans, you would obviously expect your team to throw everything at us. I think you will need to throw everything at us. But what I would say, if you do throw everything at us, I wouldn't say that'll leave the back door open, because we're not a team that creates a lot of chances. We're just a team that takes our chances. So that would be my advice if I was going to give any to Mark Hughes, is come at Everton from the start and really, really have a go. Put the likes of Keane under pressure. Get runners behind a back four, which is aging a little bit. The likes of Shane Long. Get runners in there, get them into the channels, and that might be your best chance of winning the game.
Excellent. I love the sound of that. But also a bit of a bonus, mate. I mean, Saints are going to bring out a big support. £10 a ticket Virgin Media are putting on to go to Goodison. We want to know what are the best away pubs.
Oh, I don't even know if we have away pubs. We just have pubs. We're nice. We're nice people. We're nice, friendly people. If you come into one of our pubs, you won't get any hassle whatsoever. Oh, in any of our pubs, honestly, you won't get any problems at all. We're nice. We're nice up here. There's no away pubs. we just if you want to go on one, there's a Wetherspoons not far from the ground. That's probably the most sort of neutral. If you want one, it's called Thomas Frost. Try that. That's probably but don't be worried about trying any of the pubs, because there will be no problems, and especially with it being Sam Allardyce's last home game in charge this season. For a lot of people, hopefully, his last home game in charge of Everton. I think it'll be a quite relaxed atmosphere from us. So it's up to you guys to create some atmosphere, I imagine, in and around the ground, because I doubt we will be.
Great stuff, and hopefully, the Saints support that will be travelling will make a lot of noise. But big thanks for coming over, Ped.
No problem, mate. No problem at all. And if you don't get the 3 points, good luck for your other games, because it'd be travesty to see Southampton go back down.
Thanks, mate. We appreciate it. And if you guys at home, remember to go ahead and check out Toffee TV. All the links will be in the card in the description. Go ahead and let us know if you're travelling on the coaches. Virgin Media, £10 a ticket. Let us know your predictions in below.